Welcome to our latest website review here at eCommerceMasterPlan.com. I'm Chloe Thomas. I'm going to take you through a website review of a lovely little website called FreeRunJuice.co.uk. This is a wine selling website, a UK wine selling website, and we'll take a look at their website in a few minutes' time. And before we do that, I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about eCommerce Masterplan in case you've not come across me and it before. So that's me on the left-hand side there, and those are the two books that are currently published by eCommerce Masterplan. I say currently published, they're the ones that are published as of the recording of this video, but there may be more by the time you're watching this. As you'll see at the top, there's some quite fantastic recommendations I've had and reviews I've had of those. You can get them on Amazon and from any bookseller in the UK. They're available on every ebook format known to man. So just go and have a look at the shop on your ebook. Alternatively, you can get them direct from me at ecommercemasterplan.com/books. The e-commerce master plan is all about helping e-commerce businesses succeed, and there's kind of three parts to what we do. First off, we inspire people, so we provide our clients, and we provide anyone really via our free to access blog information and videos like this with inspiration of what other people are doing in other industries and in the e-commerce sector. We provide enlightenment, so what you should be aware of, what you should be thinking of, the alternative ways you could be doing things, kind of enlightening you about the different options that are out there. And then we guide e-commerce business owners, e-commerce marketers in how to implement the right marketing, the right activities, the right strategies for their business. So we have training courses, and then there's the one-to-one training program, which is the Inner Circle. And so there's, as I was saying, there was a number of different services we offer this via, from the free activity that's on the website right the way through to one-to-one consulting with me, if that's what's right for your business. If you're interested in any of that, then just go and take a look at ecommercemasterplan.com. You'll find all our contact details. The e-commerce master plan itself, then, the 3 steps to successful online selling, works through what sort of e-commerce business are you, identifying what your business is and how you're going to differentiate it, establishing the core foundations, because of course you can't have an e-commerce business if you don't have a website, if you don't have the right financials in place, and if you don't understand how your products and promotions will be working together and what those should be. Then the third step is all about the marketing. But today we're talking about building the right website, and I'm going to do this review of FreeRunJuice.co.uk to give you some ideas for your site, some quick wins for your site. FreeRunJuice is an online-only seller. They have a very niche product range scale, so they only sell wine, and they only sell wine from Australia and New Zealand. Their USP is their product. So they're Australia and New Zealand wines only, and also the knowledge and information they have about those wines. We'll see that as we go around the website. And if you would like to get one of these free reviews for yourself, just go to ecommercemasterplan.com and you will be able to find how to sign up. Okay, we do one of them a month, so there are at least 12 opportunities a year to do them. If I see something interesting, then we sometimes do more than one, but there's at least 12 opportunities to see them. So let's get on with the review of freerunjuice.co.uk. This is the homepage of FreeRunJuice, and as those of you who've watched some of the previous reviews will know, I haven't looked at this website any further than the homepage before doing the review, so I'm seeing it fresh, so you're getting my thoughts as I see it. I don't have access to their analytics or any other data. All I know is what's on the website, and what we'll do is we'll work through different page types and identify different ways in which they could be making more of the key USPs, more of the brand, making it easier for customers to buy. And today we're going to do something a little bit different, which is they have a blog, so we're going to take a quick look at the blog, and I'm going to give you some tips for the blog as well. So the very first thing to say about FreeRunJuice is they have a cookie pop-up. Now, you don't really need one of these. The chances of being sued for not having a cookie request are next to minimal, and the legal situation is such, the reading of the laws is such that you do not necessarily need to have one depending on how you read it. No one's tested it yet in the courts, so I suggest getting rid of them because increasingly companies aren't using them. Very few of the big companies have one in place, and it just gives customers something else they have to do before they can really get going with your website. So we're just going to get rid of that one. Not least because that's running quite slowly. Okay. Here we are, we're now in the website. Now something else which is going on a bit strange here is we appear to be able to scroll right and left. That's odd, and probably does need fixing, because I don't know why it would be doing that. I'm on quite a normal screen size, so that's something to get sorted out and removed. Next up, before I really get into this site, I want to also have a look at the blog. So this is the primary e-commerce site, which is at freerunjuice.co.uk. We then have the blog, which is over here at freerunjuice.info. Now, I would say, first of all, you are much better off if you have your blog on the same URL as your main website. So freerunjuice.co.uk/blog would be more powerful for you than having a separate blog, because you end up having to manage 2 websites, getting traffic to 2 websites, and so forth. But ignoring that, the blog is quite... Oh, there's some quite nice posts on here, which I have had a look through already. Because I did have a quick look at the blog before I did do this review, because I wanted to see if it was worth us taking a look at, and it is. But what I would say is there's some opportunities being missed on here. As you'll see from this scroll bar at the top, this is a very, very, very long homepage with a lot of high quality images on it. So I got bored of waiting for it to load and stopped it, hence there's some X's further down. Do use the More button in your blogs. If you're blogging, there's definitely one on the WordPress platform, there are on others. I don't know if it's called More on the other platforms, there's on the WordPress. What that means is if, for example, with this one here, in the back end when you're writing it, highlight here, click the little More button, you'll see it's one of the buttons in your options list. That then means that when the blog appears on the home page, it will have a read more, and all of this will be behind the screen, so you won't see it on the home page. You'll need to click to go through and read it. That will get people browsing through more pages of your blog. It also means people can more quickly see the different sorts of things you're talking about. So it's just one, it's good for usability. 2, it's good for getting people to look at more pages of your site, which is obviously what you want them to be doing. The other things I would say here is there are no clear links back to your shop. There is nothing here which says buy our wines. Got nothing here which says buy our wines. We've got nothing here which says buy our wines. We have Why FreeRunJuice. We have Australian and New Zealand wines, which doesn't link back to the shop. And we have lots of links to fantastic other wine writers, but we do not have a single obvious link on here which is going to take you through to your shop. And that is a massive missed opportunity. So I would have up here, I would have a visit our store, visit our wines, explore our range. I might even have, for example, buy Australian wines, buy New Zealand wines, buy, and then pick out a couple of your top sellers, be they Cab Sauv or be they Riesling, and potentially even have buy mixed cases if that's how you find people coming to you. But I would have that up here. I would have that here. I would have above this recent posts bit, I would have a graphic or a banner which points people through to your shops. It's a huge opportunity there for really getting traffic from this blog site back into your primary selling site. A lot of missed opportunities there, which will be so easy to fix. You could fix all of that in about an hour, excluding the image creation. So really quick things to fix that would make a difference. The final thing I want to say about the blog is this header up here with the mobile number in it, and the fact that the phone number, which includes landline and mobile friendly, is, I think, considerably stronger than the header you've got here, which merely has your logo. No phone number at all up here. And if you're willing to put the phone number on the blog, I'm assuming you don't have a problem with people phoning up to want to speak to you. So make sure you have the phone number front and center up here too. So add that into the header. All right, we're now going to ignore the blog and we're going to concentrate purely on the website itself. So we have nice easy access to your account, basket and checkout. We've got a search box, always good. We then have this navigation we were looking at a little bit earlier. It gives you Australia, New Zealand, grapes and wines, producers, mixed cases. Now what I would be tempted to do up here is to change the name of that category to Australian wines, New Zealand wines. Grapes and wines is fine. Producers is okay. I might have wine producers, just so we're getting that keyword in there and just we're reminding the customer that what they're looking for is wine, because in this whole header you only mention wine in this piece of text, not in this bit. Okay, mixed cases is as close as you get to mentioning wine, really. So it'd be good to just make it really clear we're talking about wine. It's one of the reasons I thought that header and logo in the blog were a bit stronger, because they made it really clear that it was wine we were looking at. What we're missing from up here is something which tells us about us. You know, why is it called FreeRunJuice? Why do you, as the owners, care about Australian, New Zealand wines? Why should we be coming to you to specifically buy Australia and New Zealand rather than going somewhere that stocks all the different countries? What's the rationale behind that? That it would be good to put in. This piece of text here I broadly like, but it needs to be, I like the fact it's there because it explains what the site does, but it needs to be a little bit more powerful. Either it's a call to action, or it's going to prove exactly why they should be buying from you. So it might be you want to change it to buy Australian and New Zealand wines online. We have over 300 Aussie and Kiwi wines specially selected to bring you the best, to help you uncover the best of Australia and New Zealand's diverse wine regions. So you can get those messages in there, but you can phrase it so as you're reminding them you want them to buy, and so that you're explaining why they should be coming to you. Hence we've selected over 100 Aussie and Kiwi wines to bring you the perfect, or to help you uncover the perfect wines from Australia and New Zealand's diverse regions. And I would also be tempted to lose the current capitalization you've got, because it's a little bit hard to read. So I'd make it kind of more of a sentence. But I like the fact you've got the text there, because I think it's nice and powerful and explains what you're doing. Let's carry on down then. Okay, we have an interesting sentence here which doesn't currently link anywhere, which says usually 10% off or more if buying 6 or more bottles of the same wine. Now, the reason I laugh is that if you're going to put up 10% off if buying 6 or more bottles, just make it every bottle. Make it simple for the consumer. First rule of promotions is keep it simple. Because if you're confusing, right, usually 10% off, okay, clearly the wine I like isn't going to be 10% off, so I'll go and buy somewhere else. You want to be having a statement, an offer that's, if you're going to be doing this, that's across the website. And if the mixed case deals are different, I would have them as a separate flag somewhere else. So I'd have that particular space using but one message. So it's either 10% off or more if buying 6 or more bottles of the same wine, or I'd have it mixed case deals, and I would flag up, assuming you're currently in the growth stage rather than the maintenance stage, you're looking to acquire more customers month on month, I would put up whichever offer you find appeals most to new customers. Be that mixed case deals, be that 10% off or more. Then we have, below that we have a number of different images going on here. We've got Rogers and Rufus Rosé, 26% off. That's quite hard to read on my screen. 26% off is a bit of an odd number. Maybe that's a wine thing. You go for strange numbers with your discounts. I would suggest making that a little bit of a stronger graphic, and probably have some pictures of the wine bottles there, because at the moment we haven't yet seen a single bottle of wine. And that, in fact, there's one there. We have one bottle of wine on the homepage, so I would make sure you've got some pictures of wine bottles on here. So I put that there, a picture of the bottles, then have the offer. Assuming if it's a before you run out, you can put some other kind of call to action in there. I put that, sorry, not call to action, some other kind of excitement builder. I put that in there. We've then got the blog, read the blog. I'd have the blog linked up here, so I'd have contact us and I'd have read our blog. This one, I quite like that. On the road with us, read what we're finding out about. It's quite compelling. I quite like that one. But I would make sure you've got the sizing set up here so you don't have this big empty white space. Then we've got a series of scrolling updates, which, okay, that one doesn't link anywhere. So you're telling them to discover, but you're not telling them how to discover. Okay, let's click through these so we see them in order. That's quite hard to read. And we can't click on this image. If you can't click on the image, I wouldn't be using that much space on your homepage without having it as a click. This I would move to the About Us, and I might even phrase the About Us FreeRunJuice question mark or something out here. Or, is it? Yeah, that's not going to help you sell anything. It's just going to solve people's query of why you've called it FreeRunJuice. So I wouldn't have that as your first thing on the homepage. This is really important information. This should be your questions, call us should be in the header, as we've already said. I would have, if you're gonna, I would put here contact us or questions or something. I wouldn't have an instruction to use the bits in the footer, etc. And then this bit, minimum order 6 mixed bottles, delivery in 5-10 days, delivery That's really important information to have, but hiding it in one of these graphics is not good. We tend to be programmed to look to this type of scrolling graphic to look for a promotion or a promotion or something that's promoting the products. This is just giving us really vital information. So potentially I would take this text up here, split it there, and then have the delivery and the buying information up here, because you want people to know that they have to buy at least 6 bottles. Otherwise they're going to be really frustrated when they try to buy one. So you want to be flagging that up front. So you want that high up on the site. As we said with that one, we're not going anywhere. Again, we can't go anywhere, so we don't know how you're fulfilling us finding out that. Likewise, New Zealand, same thing. Viticulture, same thing. Now, I'm guessing that as none of these are linked, that it's not possible for you to link these images in this scrolling thing. So I would suggest you get rid of it and simply if you want to do the knowledge piece, which I think is a good idea, so the Australia, winemaking, viticulture, New Zealand, and organic, etc. I would have them as single images up here, which link through to a page that talks about it, and a page on this site, not a page on the web, on the blog, because you want to keep them on this website. And then these two, that one I'd move to your About Us, and this one here I would make really front and center and prominent, so they know what the situation is, because delivery and purchasing information is really important to explain it to people up front so they trust you and they know what they're going to be getting. Now we have a number. I don't know a great deal about wine, so I'm guessing these are all different wine producers, in which case if you're going to flag them up here, you want to be taking people through to be able to click and go, Janza, I love Janza from Tasmania. Oh, I can't click on it, so now I've got to find some other way of finding that, which is going to involve scrolling up here and probably having to remember that we're talking about Australia and then coming through. So even if these are all Australian, they click and they go through to whatever this Australia page is, then yeah, see, so that's a nice page where we've got the ability to go through to the wines from each producer. So I would link this through to that, assuming all those are on that page. And if they're not all on that page, then either change the image or change the page. This one here, is that's going to go through to the Yalumba FDRIA 2009. Will it, won't it? Yeah, we're in here into the Shiraz. Okay, cool. That's taken us straight into the product we're after. And then that presumably is another wine. And then down here we've got a series of images which are actually promoting different wines by the look of it. So if I click on that, will I go through to... Yes, I will. You really need to standardize these images and make it clear from the image what the product is that they're highlighting. So we need some pictures of bottles, or to make it clear these are labels or whatever they are, because right now at first glance that looks like a set of interesting pictures. It doesn't look like products. So maybe you headline it here with our favourites or something along those lines to help people understand what exactly it is that that they're going to be clicking through to when they do this. So let's go and have a look at that producers page that we were looking at earlier. So this is all our producers from both options. I like the recently viewed products because it's going to help me find the ones I'm after. Nice set of instructions up there. Now, this is a page which is helping us navigate to the wines. I would lose your add to basket button on here because this is all talking starting out. I don't know what product's going into my basket if I click on that. I'm going to guess it's something to do with Angus, but I don't know which wine, whether it's red or white or anything. So here the add to basket buttons aren't going to be helping you at all. But I love the fact you've got these starting at 2175 because that is going to give me an idea of which ones are which producers are in my price range. The other thing I'd say is, quite bizarrely, you are missing one here. So that would lead me to not bothering to go any further, because I'm going to assume I've got to the end of the list. So you need to get that fixed so as you are always getting a full row on the bottom, because I can see from down here you've got another 4 pages. The other thing I'd say is, at the moment you're defaulting it to sort A to Z by name. Now, if most of your customers are people who know which producer they want, who come to this page, then that's absolutely fine, because then they're going to be able to find the one they want, and A to Z is going to be easiest. However, I would suggest actually you try and do this based on best-selling or our favourites or something like that, if you have that data and if these customers don't already know which one they're after. So let's go and have a look at the ARA producer. Fantastic copy going on here. That's brilliant. Really going to explain to us what the ARA producer is all about. We also then have a video, which is cool. We have a link through to the producer, and then up here we have each of the different wines themselves, and I can pick how many I want of each one, and I can then choose to add it to the basket. Now, what I suggest you should have on this page is we should have a reminder of the fact that buy 6, save 10% is the case if you buy all the same wine. So I can't have one of each of those and save any money. It has to be the same wine. So you need to make that clear to people, because that's just going to be somewhere where they get a bit confused. And to be honest, if you could manage to make it buy 6 of anything and save 10%, it would make it a lot easier for the customer to understand and to buy from you. Because at the moment you're wanting them to spend to commit to 6 bottles of one wine rather than necessarily trying some of these out. But you know, if all your customers already know the brands and they're looking to buy specific producers, then it's absolutely fine. But if you're trying to encourage people to start buying and investing in Australian, New Zealand wine, then you're going to want to make sure you're giving them the opportunity to test and to buy 6 bottles from different places. I know you've got the mixed cases to help them do that, but some are going to want to be trying different Shirazes or trying different Pinot Noirs. One of the things which I would like to see here is the ability to click through to find out more about these individual wines. If I'm going to be spending £18 a bottle on a Sauvignon Blanc, I want to understand more about it. I want this kind of text which is going to tell me why the Resolute Sauvignon Blanc is worth that price, why 2011 was a good year, what I should be doing. Is this one ready to drink now? Is it one that I want to lay down? What is it that I should be doing with this? And I can't do that from here. I can't get to a page about the wine. The other thing I would say you're really missing a trick with here is red versus white versus rosé. A lot of consumers buy based on, I want red wine or I want white wine. For a lot of people, that's their starting point, and then they'll pick between a Chardonnay or a Cab Sauv based on. This is where my wine knowledge starts to go wrong. So I think they pick on a Chardonnay or a Pinot Grigio, depending on the sort of thing they want when they want to drink it, rather than choosing between a Merlot or a Chardonnay. So having a red wine, white wine, rosé, sparkling, if you do sparkling as a navigational method, would also be a benefit to you. Okay, let's go and have a look at some of these mixed cases then. Okay, I like the text you've got up here, which explains why people may be wanting to go for these mixed cases. What you need to, if that's the reason for having them, because they're special price collections rather than having to buy 6 of the same bottle, make more of them. Okay, so on the homepage of a big test our wines, get one of our special mixed cases at very special prices or something like that. So you're helping people understand that your mixed cases are there for a really, really good reason, to help them get to know and get to understand these products. If you're not, I would suggest that you include within the mixed case some tasting notes, why you've put these together and what people should be thinking, you know, how people should be experiencing them. I like the fact you've got the prices here and you've got the add to baskets. Now what I would suggest you should be doing here is you should be clarifying what size of case these are. And if you could have an image of the bottles that people are getting, that can be very, very helpful for helping people quickly understand what they've got. I mean, this one, sparkling wine, so presumably it's all sparkling wines. Whoops. This Broken Wood Hunter Valley mixed case, is it reds and whites? Is it just whites? Is it just reds? What's that's just Sauvignon Blanc by the sounds of it. We've got another mixed one down here. So I would just change the product names, change the images to just give people a little bit more detail about what they're doing. So here, okay, now I've got and if all of these are 20% off, then I'd make sure you're flagging that somewhere as well. Okay, 15% off, 20% off. So I'd put how much people are saving. So with this one, they're saving £20. Fantastic. I love the text there. I think you probably want to focus a little bit more on selling these wines and why they're so great rather than ranting about the supermarkets, but I do find that quite entertaining. and then we do have the ability to click through for more information about the wines. I'd include that information here. Yeah, maybe not the full amount, but like the first sentence, maybe first paragraph. I think I'd do is I'd pre-fill all your quantity boxes with 1, because you don't want someone to have to go and click in it, delete, enter a number 1, and then click and add to basket. So pre-fill all those quantity boxes with 1. And then let's have a look at the second mix box. Okay, so again we're talking about we've got reds and whites, mixture of in here. We've got 4 different wines. We need to be making sure that's clear for people, and one of the easiest ways to do that is to simply have the image up front. So a fair few bits and pieces there for you to use to improve FreeRunJuice. I hope that's been useful for you. So some very quick improvements to the blog, and then quite a lot to do with the homepage, improving the messaging and improving the way it looks and driving people to the products more clearly. A couple of bits and pieces on the navigation, and then finally just improving the functionality of those product pages. The content is great, but the images, the functionality, the buyability just needs a little bit of tweaking. So that was freerunjuice.co.uk. If you'd like to request a free website review, then go and have a look at ecommercemasterplan.com, where you can also find more about all our services and also get your hands on our books. Thanks very much. Bye.